I just wanted to say that I'm glad it is summer. Every time they ask for me to do this Martin Luther King's birthday, they have a parade and everything, I end up catching a cold. My voice, I'm usually sick. So this is how it actually happened in the summer at this 50th anniversary. I'm so happy today to join with you in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, a great American in whom symbolic shadows we stand signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree became a great beacon light of hope to the millions of Negro slaves who had found themselves seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak in the long night of their captivity. Almost 100 years later, the Negro is still not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of America's society and finds himself in exile in his own land. We've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we have come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note in which all men were to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as its citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunities of this nation. So we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. Thank you.